What's up, guys? Hope everyone's having a good week. So today we're not gonna start with Nasdaq, the little lead down. So we first cover USD, right? So just as suspected in the video I showed, like we couldn't break this line, the internal trend line. We shot back up. I shared that setup like that. Um, the great thing about this here is, right, that we now broke this left side here, which is actually something I've been waiting for, because that's more confirmation that things will actually look up a little bit. One thing I want you guys to take note of is this little area here. We retested it twice and then we went bullish. So what I do suspect here is, I can actually remove that because that was last week's. What I do suspect here is something like a wick downward first to kind of, kick things off for the week. Let's just put a line here for our sanity quickly, right? So you can see it's coming to kind of chase these eyes here, right? So what could happen is we could get a wick downward first, test the area one more time, give the 8 MA as usual time to catch up, and then we'll come to the top side. So for the shorter term traders, right? So you can first target that one. So we're first gonna wait for a retest, right? You wait for your retest. That doesn't matter where, on what time frame. Sorry, that will be your entry, right? Here will be your stop loss. You take profit. Your first one would be here, right? Giving you a 1:32. Not necessarily something I'm gonna be taking, right? But just like I said, wait for a retest, guys. Like for all we know, because it's a daily opening up, we could drop first and then go up, right? But just for the sake of your sanity, wait for retest of this area here. So we'll put our horizontal line here. Wait for retest here, a confirmed retest at the 8 and the 14 catch up. Right? Once that takes place and you get a bullish confirmation candle, that's when you ride it to the top side. What I'm going to be doing is, though, let me just switch to daily, it'll be easier to put it out. What I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to wait for a break in a retest here. Reason why I'm also hanging back like this now is because I don't. Remember, we have USD, we have S&P 500, we have GBPJPY, we have NAS. That's between us that trade that. I'll have a look see at as many charts as I can for now. I don't want to keep the video for too long, but that's what I'm chasing, more or less, right? If you could catch a decent retest over here somewhere, right? If you could catch one, maybe. Yeah, like this isn't a bad area to be trying it from. It's just a little bit more risky, but what that would look like is something like this. Right? Also very good. Very, very good. Right? So similar take profits around about there. Yeah. Your stop loss would be somewhere up here. Still making it a brilliant trade to be taking. I mean, look guys, this is a swing trade. I mean, on H4, you'd die of a heart attack because of how deep your stop needs to be, depending on how your risk to reward is normally. That's not too bad. I'd consider those buys. I just wanted to cover some sells here as well. Like I said, I'm not going to keep the video too long today. Reason why I'm talking about sells, if you see the bearish divergence starting to form here, obviously we're midway through a move, so we can't confirm that that is going to cover bearish divergence. But as you can see, there's a downward momentum here. There's an upward momentum there, meaning we could come up to that area and fall back down. Right? So two scenarios with a sell here. If we can come up here, reject it, and confirm that we're going to sell, right? I'll use this as my stop loss over here. And I'll sell it all the way back down to this area over here. Right? That would be what a sell would look like. Then the more conservative sort of one, we just go quickly to daily. On a daily chart, yeah, pretty much the same thing, yeah. If it can't like break and it actually miserably fails, and you can catch that first leg, and we can get down to this area here, right? Now here's where things get a little bit interesting for us now. If we can get down there, we chase the trend line all over again. Remember, like, it's obviously going to move sideways, guys, so we need to take that into consideration. So maybe even a little bit further up, something like that. Yeah, around about there. You know, I'd look for something like that as well. That's just sell side. I'm not saying it's going to sell for now. Actually, just based on how things are moving, like currently we look bullish. We look like we're continuing up in our channels, respectively. You know, it doesn't matter which one of the charts we're kind of looking at. Yeah. Um, in terms of this one, be very careful about how we go here. The brilliant thing here is that we broke this area here to the left. That's something like that was very important. So this is why I didn't want to discuss around swing trades this week and rather next week, or well, more the end of this week to discuss the swing trading, because there's a possibility if we break above here that we're gonna have to make a whole new sort of setup, and if we can come up here, which obviously common sense just tells you're gonna sell it down to the internal trend line, depending on what we're gonna do. So yeah, see, this might take a little bit of babysitting. So this is why I wanted to see what happens this week before I share the long term ones. Yeah. And the next thing is that I want to do is I want to share S&P 500. Now, man, oh man, this one was really, really, really good, man. Like, did exactly. I mean, you can see here with the two entries that I mapped out last week. We actually took the entry from this one over here, following this bullish confirmation entry candle on this one. Bang, gone. Right. My stop now would be just below here, so we stops in profits already. Brilliant. And then this little internal trend line here, be very careful here, guys, because like S&P, I mean USD, we could also see some unpredictable moves happen here. But once again here, this sell no longer for me. So see, the benefit is that we stayed in that bullish channel we were covering. So just in terms of what we're gonna look for in terms of S&P would be something like this. If we're going to buy, seeing as we retested there with the bullish engulfing candle, what I'm going to wait for now is, because I suppose you could have taken it from here if you don't trade with this internal trend now, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to remove this one for now. Just reason being, let me just zoom out a little bit for you guys. Oopsie. Yeah, you see there's a bigger picture here that this can come a little bit tighter. Then we go to daily. You see, so that's more or less what, if you look at it now, that's how the trend line should be working. It shouldn't have been below. So I think for last week's move, it was the perfect thing to have done. However, like, we also need to consider that this is a thing though. You see 1, 2, 3 touches, perfect. So this is an internal pattern happening inside of here. So be careful here, guys. It could be done either way, like I showed you guys now this way. Right, where the trend line could still be valid, and it could also be seen this way. So what I would normally do is make zones around them, right? So this whole thing, this gap here and this gap here would be your zone, right? Remember, a trend line is supposed to be seen as a support and resistance line, yeah? So essentially what we're going to look for now is, right, we're going to look for a move like this. So let's say, for example, we're going to take the sell first. Let's say we reject that area. We want to reject of this all-time high, right? And then all we're going to do is we're going to run it down to the bottom of the trend line, right? So that's going to be what your trade would look like, right? Then you want to scope out the buy position, right? So let's say this break holds, right? Like we go there, our stop loss then becomes nice and tight. We'll get in from somewhere about there. Our stop loss becomes nice and tight, and we hold it till there, right? So guys, I don't know if you notice, and this should give you an idea of what's going to happen later in the like when we start closing shop. By the looks of things, we're going to come touch the ceilings here of these channels and we'll fall. So there might be swing trade possibilities for sells as it stands now. I can't obviously guarantee that it's going to be the same case. We don't know what the market's going to do coming into this new week now. If we're bullish, we might hit there quickly and come start falling within that week as well. We don't know, you know. So let's keep eyes. That would be the buy side, and I showed you guys the sell side. Then I just wanted to have a quick glance at GBPJPY. I haven't really done much of an analysis. Oh, so we're still pretty much what we covered last week. We fell into the liquidity pool now, like we're at the bottom, so we're sweeping things up. So yeah, I won't do any short-term entries. Like I said last week, if you guys watched that video, I'm kind of suspecting we get a bump down somewhere here, kind of just to confirm everything's in order, and then we're going to shoot up. That's the move I'm waiting on, right? So I am as you can see, here's a little liquidity pool here. There we got a break in structure, so I'm waiting on a low, a high, a test of this area here, and then I'll get in on the buy. Okay, this will be a very long-term trade. So I think for one of my, I think I've decided to take 2 swing trades for the festive period. This will be one of them. Very choppy ride, guys. Remember, anything can happen. GBPJPY is fundamentally driven, so you kind of need to play your cards right. So this I'll update you guys at the end. So the in next week will be that longer term video where I kind of move away from analyzing charts and we talk more around other things, right? During the festive period, so some tips, some tricks, some things I found out about some brokers, all those kinds of things will come. Financial, we have a special guest financial advisor coming in that's going to come have a chat with us, yeah? So for GBPJPY, for now I'm gonna hang back. I do suspect there is gonna be a little bit of a sell down here. If I were to map it out on a daily, it would look something like this. Would look something like this. Yeah, and then I would target something like that. But on a 4 hour, I mean, you could catch quite a few decent entries off of something like this, even on a 4 hour. You see, there's a little bit of a range coming now, so this thing will drop. It should drop, right? So we got a little bit of liquidity forming here as well. So just want to see now, okay, are we going to fall again? So we'll just have to wait and see. But this I suspect to sell, yeah. That will be GBPJPY. Then we're going to go over to Nasdaq. And man, Nasdaq was fun this week. We had a lot of goodies that we were able to take. The many different scenarios can be seen on this chart now, which is where the trick comes in. So just in terms of Nasdaq, where we are right now, right? I'm not looking to really enter anything here right now, at least for the right now. So what I want is I want to break above this area, so I know with almost 90% certainty that we're at least gonna touch this trend line after we break this area, which is perfect. I do also think, like, even though this whole thing just kind of rejected, it came to the head and shoulders, it kind of rejected, bang down. This could still be seen as a right shoulder, so be careful because this bar here is a 78.6 on the Fibonacci. Yeah. Yeah, it would approach, so wick up, down, poof, melt again. So just be careful when it comes to Nasdaq now. So, in terms of entries, we want to break this area, right? So we first want to go here. Our stop loss will be there, nice and tight. If we break that area, which is all-time high, which would be something like that, right? Then for a sell, I don't particularly think I'd be taking any sells here right now, even if it meant missing out on this move down here and then a pullback up. I would rather choose a buy if that does happen. But for those of you who are more short terms, who want to catch like 1 hour if it does melt, your entry would look something like this. I'll go to the 4 hour chart just to make it a little bit easier for you. You see, we wait, let it reject that area, confirm here, let it go up, reject that area, confirm a bearish candle here, and then we melt downward. So that would look something like this. So it would be something like this, yeah. You could do like a short scalp, something like that. You could even target the one below it, because that would actually make a lot of sense to target that way down. It's totally up to you guys how you choose to trade this right now. For me, what I've been doing is I've been looking at the longer term and like scalping multiple moves out. So mark off like I do now, and then I say, so say for example that I want to take the sell from the daily chart, right? Yeah, more or less the daily. Then I'll go to the H1 and I'll be like, okay, in terms of this H1, how many of these are possible in one day? So in this case, lucky enough, this is possible in one day. So I'll scalp it to the next level and the next level and the next level. But so what you do is you just map them out here. Target 1, that's target 2, right? We go out here. You go here. Right? The minute we reject, we fall, we break, we retest, we sell. We sell that first one, then it would look like this. Right? You sell your first one, would be something like this. and then your second sell, once that it takes profit, you enter again once we break that line and retest, obviously, then we take that sell. Depends on you guys how you actually want to do it. There are multiple options on Nasdaq right now. I'm not too excited as to what's going to happen for the beginning leg of this week. Remember, we must kind of wick to show health in the candle. And if we look at weekly was pretty solid, like in terms of everything, about like candlestick health. It fully engulfed the body. I have wick below and wick above. Nice bullish momentum to the top side. So overall, you should kind of be bullish, but I wouldn't be on that level where it's like it must buy. Just be ready, because this area seems to be problematic. As you can see here, it failed already, and yesterday on Friday it failed as well. So here's where things kind of get interesting. So keep your eyes open. Let the MA sort of catch up. Let the 8 MA catch up through here. Let it wick. If we can wick here on a weekly, then you get ready for another buy upward. But if you guys want better updates, join the free Telegram channel as usual. Outside of these trades, guys, just in general, don't remember we're coming into a time now where trades are kind of just like all over the place, right? So we kind of also want to make sure that we are up to date with our news, right? So let's have a quick look at the economic calendar. So we have a busy week for the US this week. So we have core retail sales. Wait, first we have PPI, we have core retail sales, crude oil inventories, FOMC. We have Fed interest rate, guys. It's like manic week this week, so things could move very quickly. So just trade carefully there. I mean, those of you who trade GBPJPY, BOE is also something you want to kind of have a look at. Yeah, it's gonna be a earning index as bonuses also, and bonus is very, very good for GBPJPY. So just keep an eye out on that as well. As you can see, hectic week for those of us who trade these indices and GBPJPY. Outside of that, there's not really much else to be looking out for. Just a little bit of trick here, guys. I just want to show you something. If you got the high time frames, ideally you kind of want most of these to show you buys, right? I don't really care much for 5-minute charts, 15-minute charts. That's to be honest with you, it's kind of just a waste of time. You want things like Tesla and Amazon to be buys, to be fully bullish on NAS. So we don't want to fall for that short-term bullishness. So this is why I'm also a bit uncertain about what's going on in the markets for now. So we're going to play the easy game. And that's it for now, guys. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe in the links below. And without further ado, let's get moving more than average.